All right, the previous slide showed information on who could play paper bingo and who could participate in raffles. And now we'll do the rest of this section of the course on a video. It's going to be on paper bingo and raffles. We'll start off with bingo. There are different types of bingo games. There's a regular bingo game. That's the bingo game like any school kid would know, where you get a straight line on your 5x5 bingo card, or you get a diagonal line, and then you call that a bingo, and then you win the game. That's a regular bingo game. Then there's a cover-all game. Cover-all game is when you have to cover all the spaces on the card in order to win, including there's also a free space, and those are all covered. There's a game called cover none game, or stand-up bingo, sometimes it's called that, where everybody stands up, and then whoever is the last person to have any of the numbers called be on their card, that person wins. So the goal of that case is to not have your numbers called. That's kind of fun sometimes. And then there's a progressive game. A progressive game is where there's a limiting ball count, meaning is a number of balls called that if you get bingo in that number of balls or less, you win the jackpot prize. If you get it bingo in more than that number, then you only win a consolation prize. And then the next occasion, like say the next week, if you do weekly bingo, then the prize will increase because no one won it the previous week. And ultimately, the prize keeps going up and up and up until somebody wins, and then it starts over back down lower again. That's called a progressive game. Continuation game. Continuation game is when you can play up to 3 different games on the same bingo face. So the most common example of that is where you do, say, a line bingo, one line bingo, regular bingo for, say, for $50 prize, and then you on the same sheet, then you play on for a double bingo. The first person to win a double bingo pattern, that person maybe say wins a $100 prize, and then you play on for a coverall, and then the coverall, maybe that person who covers all the spaces gets a $500 prize. So all 3 games are played on one bingo face, and that's the maximum you can do, is just 3 games on a bingo face. Usually most bingo games are not continuation games. You just play 1 game on the face, and then you, if you lose, you just throw your paper in the recycling bin, and then you start a new sheet with the next game. There's something called a break open bingo game. And a break open bingo game is when the sheets come folded with perforated edges, and you can't see, when you buy it, you can't see what numbers are on that sheet. So you buy the sheet, open the perforations, open it up, and then you'll see what numbers are on the sheet. And for a break open bingo game, they call the numbers, some of the numbers, even while people are, or before people are purchasing that paper. So they'll take their sheet that shows which numbers they have. They'll look up at the board and say, geez, I've got a really great card. This is going to be great. Or maybe they'll look and they'll say, boy, I've only got 2 numbers on my card. I'm going to go get a different one. I'll never win on this one, so I'm going to go get a different one. Sometimes you can trade them in for half price or do different things. But anyway, it's a way to increase receipts for the game. That's called a break open bingo game. And then there's linked electronic bingo, or electronic linked bingo. That was talked about in a previous section. So here's some of the bingo rules. On bingo paper sheets, there's a rule now that you can have up to 2 numbers in each space. And the way it works is that if either of the numbers in a space is called, then you can daub that space. And this came out because some organizations were saying that they needed a game, a coverall game that could be played faster. They wanted bingo to be played faster. This was early on with electronic bingo. They needed something that could kind of compete with the pace of that a little bit better. So this came out. It hasn't really turned out to be that popular, but sometimes we'll see it. Hot Ball Bingo Prize is another item that came out sort of right around that same time. And Hot Ball Bingo Prize is an extra prize you get for winning the game if your if your bingo pattern has if the last number called in your bingo pattern matches the hot ball number. So for example, on this card that you're seeing in front of you there, let's say that the person was playing and the last number called was B4, and the person got a bingo, straight line bingo down to B's. They covered all 5 spaces under the B's with B4. If 4 was the hot ball number that had been drawn before the game started, then they could win an extra prize of up to $500. That kind of makes it more fun. Then there's a rule that says a bingo pattern may not be completed with fewer than 3 numbers. And that's except, of course, for the cover none game. But otherwise, in order for it to be a pattern, there has to be at least 3 numbers. So you could have 3 numbers in any corner or 3 numbers in a row or something like that. Almost always the patterns that we see require at least 4 numbers to be called. So it would be 4 numbers across, including the free space. So when it comes to determining what the maximum prize is for each game, first we have to make sure we are correctly classifying the type of game, bingo game, that it is. Start with this question. Does the prize level for a game increase from one game or occasion to the next? If yes, if it does, then it's a progressive game. So if nobody wins the prize one week, one occasion, then the next occasion does that prize go up for that same game? If yes, it's a progressive game. But if no, then you have to ask this question. Must all numbers be covered to win? If no, must all numbers be covered to win? If yes, then it's a coverall game. And if the answer to that is no, then it's a regular bingo game. So we have 3 different types of games here when it comes to prize limits. We have a progressive game, a coverall game, or a regular bingo game. Now the prize for a regular game can be up to $500. And the prize for a progressive game, that can go up to $2,000, and you can have up to consolation prizes of up to $500. For a coverall or cover none game, it goes by up to $2,000 per occasion, not by the game. So during any one occasion, you can award up to $2,000 in coverall prizes or cover none prizes. For every bingo occasion, you'll need a bingo program. And on that bingo program, you'll have the name of your organization and your license number. You'll have a description of the paper that's going to be used for each game, such as blue 3-face blue paper, or maybe the next game after that is a one single sheet red paper. Then you'll have a description and illustration of each pattern. So if the winning pattern is going to be letter X, you'll have a little diagram of the letter X. If it's going to be letter M, you'll show that. And the reason that's important is because different places have different ways to make an L, or a different small x or big X, or things like that. So you want to have a description and an illustration of each pattern on your program. Then you'll list the prizes offered for each game, including the consolation prize, and then the date the program was implemented. And you'll have to keep a copy of your bingo program that was in use for each bingo occasion conducted, and make it available to the Gambling Control Board upon request. So what you'll do is, every time that you implement a new bingo program, make a copy of it, stick it in the file. It'll have the date the program was implemented, so you'll know that the dates, you'll be able to keep track of which dates, which programs were in use. And sometimes when we do compliance reviews, then we'll ask for that information if we are looking into your bingo records. The price that you charge, or that you're going to charge players for bingo paper, that price has to be listed on your distributor invoice. So if you're doing bar bingo and you're selling red one-on-paper bingo sheets for $1 each, then when you order that paper from your distributor, you have to say you're going to be charging $1 for that. It's important that you sell it for exactly that price, because let's say you decided, well, the people don't want to pay $1 for just one face, so we'll lower the price to 50 cents. Well, if you do that, we're going to see that, say, for example, you purchase 3,000 $1 sheets, and so we're going to expect that there's $3,000 of gross receipts in your gambling account. But if you only charge players 50 cents, then you're only going to have $1,500 for gross receipts, and it's going to show up as being a shortage of $1,500. So you don't want to do that. There is a way to reduce the price of bingo paper, and that's if you use a bingo coupon. And that's not usually used to reduce prices from $1 to 50 cents, but it's used, for example, lots of places have it. If it's your birthday, then you get a free bingo package. So maybe your organization sells bingo packages for $20 each. For it would be one sheet for every game that you offer that night. Well, if you wanted to give that away to someone on their birthday, then you would have to have the person's name and address and put that on a bingo coupon and have the person sign it and showing that they received something, the package, a $20 package for free. That way, if it comes up, if we're looking to see if money is missing and you're $20 less than what you should have, then you'll say, well, here's the bingo coupon that shows that we gave this one package away to so-and-so. And we can always call that person and find out if they really were at your site and if they really did get a bingo package for $20 for free. This is the form that you'll use to track your purchase of bingo paper from your distributor. It's called LG 900 Professional Inventory Control for bingo paper. And whether you're doing church basement bingo or you're doing back room or the VFW bingo or a bingo hall or doing bar bingo where you do the bingo right in your bar area, you'll still use this same form to track your initial purchase of bingo paper. At the top, you fill in the information about the cost of the paper, how many sheets in the case, and so on. And then at the bottom, that's where each occasion you're going to record how many of those sheets that you took out for that occasion from inventory, and then how many sheets were returned, and you'll be able to calculate how many sheets then you have remaining in the case. So we'll talk about bar bingo. Bar bingo has become the most popular form of bingo, at least number of sites wise it is. And that's bingo where you're doing we're calling the bingo right in the bar where drinks and food are being sold. And a couple aspects of bar bingo are that it's where on-sale liquor is sold and where the licensed organization conducts another form of gambling and consents to the conduct of bar bingo on the premises. And if those two factors are true, then no rent may be paid for bar bingo. So you might sell pull tabs at Joe's Bar, and now you're going to do bingo right there in the bar area. And if that's the case, you cannot pay any rent to Joe's Bar for the conduct of bar bingo. For bar bingo, most of the time it's a very straightforward operation where you're just selling one or two different types of bingo paper throughout the night. Usually it's one sheet for $1 or three faces for $1. And this form is a simple form to use to track your occasion to tell if your cash long or short. You're going to put the name of the game on there, the type of paper you used, how much paper you gave to each seller, how much they returned, and then how much cash you received, and then you'll be able to determine whether your cash long or short. There are instructions on this in the gambling manual and online. Again, this is the most common form for bar bingo paper sales. If you're doing other types of bingo, like in a bingo hall, there are other forms to use that are quite a bit more complicated than this, but most of you will be using this. So that's the end of the paper bingo section. I'd like you to go back to the course now and answer a few questions, and then we'll start on the conduct of raffles after that.